name is Marius Hartmann. I'm your brewery guide today. Yeah, maybe first of all I want to introduce myself very quick. I already did an apprenticeship as a brewer 3 years in Dortmund in northwest of Germany. Later on I went to Brewmaster School in Munich, worked a little bit in breweries, and now I'm a student here at the University of Weinstefan. And also what might be interesting for you, last semester I spent in California at the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company and the pilot brewery, and grew my own beer there, and it was really amazing time. I'm not dreaming to go there, and so I know a little bit about the American craft beer. And now we are here at the oldest brewery in the world, and here it's a very long history. So the first beer was already brewed thousands of years ago in the Near East, in Syria, in this region where they harvested the first grains. And also the old Egypt people brewed beer. They also had the first tax because they drank a lot. And later on, beer brewing came also to Europe. And almost 1,000 years ago, this brewery got the rights to brew beer. So also in the 8th century, 300 years before, they had a hop garden here on this small hill here in Weinstefan, and they brewed beer so 1,300 years ago. Yeah, and so it's pretty amazing how long the history of beer brewing is here. And during the centuries, the beer brewing changed a lot. We have all kinds of new technology here, but still we have also this really long tradition. So now today I'm really happy to go with you around here and see how the brewing process works today.
So we've got the Weinstefan Hefeweiss beer here, which is so complex and balanced and just beautiful. And Carrie, what do you think of the wheat beer?
It's delicious. Pick up a lot of the clove flavors. Very wheaty, good body. Has a very clean finish. It's delicious.
Great. What do you think, Maggie?
Ditto.
Ditto, right?
I love like the really creamy mouthfeel to it and everything. So I mean, the flavors are perfect interplay between them, and not too sweet, not too spicy, perfectly clean, and yeah, the creamy, dreamy mouthfeel is kind of my thing.
Very creamy. I love that. Yeah. Larry?
Yes, I agree. It's the mouthfeel. I'm glad you brought that up because there was that element I wasn't sure what I was liking so much about it besides the flavor. That's what it is. It's the texture. It's and it's balanced and complex. It's the best wheat beer. This is what may convince me that I like Hefeweiss when I drink it.
Right. Yeah. Same here.
The complex aroma and flavor. When I smell this, I get tangerine and clove and banana. And you notice the head. I'm moving my glass around. The head just stays there like whipped cream.
Very meringue-like, yeah.
And the flavor is a lovely balance of clove, a little citrus, some banana. It's delightful.
Yeah. It's a wonderful craft beer. And a lot of young American people don't think that this is craft beer anymore, but it really is. This is where it all started. It's just it's so pure and beautiful. Thanks.
With the IPA trend, the sour trend in the United States, I think that the lager trend is coming.
I agree. Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Hey, Matt, what do you think about the wheat beer?
I think it's the best wheat beer I've ever had.
Yeah. Do you make Hefeweizen at the Old Rail Pub in Mandeville? Okay.
Yeah. So this is what I'm shooting for.
Yeah.
Mine's probably a little bit better.
Okay. Anybody have a comment over here?
Smells good, tastes good.
Anybody? You like the chain?
Smells great.
Cool. Brad, thumbs up?
It is the best barrel-aged IPA I've ever had.
Oh, God. Right. Yeah.
Fantastic. Very good. I can only imagine what good beer, what good food this would be paired with. Pair it with, I would pair it with chicken. I would pair it with pasta.
Yeah, it's good with some light fish too. Yeah, nice creamy saucy sauce. Rick, how do you like it?
I have a renewed interest in German beers, in Hefeweizens, in particular this one. I don't know. I'm kind of intrigued by both the simplicity and the complexity at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a very simple beer, I think, in how it presents itself, but yet it's so complex in the flavors with the clove and the banana, a little spiciness in there. No, it's quite nice. I wish I was sitting on a beach where I could chug a little.
Right. Yeah. It's a very elegant beer.
It is.
Yeah, it's not
but simple.
Not
it's
in your face, but
beer,
it's elegant.
But it's still it's a very approachable. Just an every person's beer. So not elegant as that it's unreachable or unattainable. It's it's very easy to drink yet elegant at the same time.
Very true. Yeah.
In the kilning process, first you have, or in the malting process, first you have the steeping, then you have the germination. I think you know all the basics, so I don't have to go into details there. Steeping and germination at Schlenkerla is pretty much the same as in any conventional malting operation. But then the kilning process is the interesting part. For kilning, for traditional kilning, brewers would have used open fire because that was the only means available to get the malt, to get the green malt dry. Whereas in modern industry maltings, you have a heating system driven by oil or gas. In industrialization, it probably was coal. And with that system, you can produce malt at a much larger scale. Now, the interesting part is how the development happened. Back in the old days, as I said, all the breweries had their own malting operations. Beer was invented or discovered, if you will, when the first humans switched from the nomadic lifestyle to a stationary lifestyle. Mesopotamia, the northern Iraq and Iran area, that was the area where, at least to current research, the first humans started an agricultural lifestyle. So the necessary technology in order to live such a lifestyle was to know how to cultivate grain. Before that time, humans were moving around, they were following the animal herds, they were living as hunters, preyers, and collectors. So they collected herbs, they collected berries, whatever they could find. And probably they already collected wild growing grain. And at some point, somebody must have discovered, I can cultivate the grain on site and then get a higher yield. And thereby they were enabled to produce a larger amount of food, to have a surplus of food. And not having to move around anymore, it enabled them to have a stockpile of food. Yeah? So it became possible, and that's the really interesting part, it became possible that people specialized. So in the times of hunters and collectors, everybody was busy with collecting food. Yeah, you couldn't really do anything else because you needed all your time in order to get enough food to survive. Once agriculture was there, you could specialize. Some people would grow the grain, others could perfect their skills in building houses. Religion started. Yeah, all that, what makes up a modern or a modern civilization is based on the fact that you cultivate grain. Even today, if our farms were to collapse and there was no grain cultivation anymore, our civilization is gone. That's the basis. And this importance of a grain is reflected in the old mythology of the early high cultures of where they came from. Paradise story, in Christian belief, Adam and Eve, the apple, no grain in there, but that came much later. Yeah? The former stories of that, for instance, is the Gilgamesh epic of Babylonian time. And in the Gilgamesh epic, the key event in which humans became civilized is that Enkidu, the hero, is taught by the gods how to brew beer, how to use the grain and how to brew beer. And thus, and it says in the text, loose translation, and thus he brewed beer, he drank 7 jars, and he was happy, and...
Schlotfegerle is our own take of the Rauch beer. Yeah? Bamberg is famous for the Schlenkerle as well as for the Spezial. So the Weyermann Schlotfegerle tries to pair the drinkability of the Spezial with the darkness of the Schlenkerle. So that's definitely something you should try. Barley wine, yeah, I think I will send you off with the barley wine into the bus and have a warm feeling when leaving Weyermann. So don't start the barley wine now. But then Hofbrau is a brewery that was here in Bamberg. It was the largest brewery in Bamberg. It was then bought by Tucher in the 70s, later closed, and Sabine and Thomas bought the name rights a few years ago. So the Bamberg Hofbrau is sort of our revival of the Bambergian stuff. Here we have a Pils, a Lager, and a Rauch. All three are great to try and taste. And then SE means a special edition, so we have a Salbei Pils on tap. This is sage in English, so the herb sage is in there, quite refreshing. And obviously I can't let you leave without having an American Pale Ale made in Bamberg.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
You just let us know what you want, and we'll work these beers for you. Yep.
So, lady first, or?